Would you rather be stuck in a forest with a man or a bear?
Bear. Man is scary.
With a bear.
What I've heard about bears, they don't always attack you, right? Unless you like fuck with them. So maybe a bear.
Depends what man, but probably a bear.
100% a bear, which is like terrifying to say, but
Definitely a bear. Some men are very scary out there.
a bear.
I would say a man.
You smart, you loyal, you're grateful. I appreciate.
Men are scary. Okay. Apparently bears are not. Bears have every bit of being terrifying when you're in their presence. They're pretty big, but I get it. Men can be scary too, but let's not knock the fact that bears can be scary as well. All right. One of them also said, bears don't always attack you. Fun fact, men don't always attack you either. It'd be hard for me to believe that just a normal thing. This man is coming at you like a linebacker, right? So I don't think that's the case. Ever since the Me Too movement, it seems like men been walking on eggshells around women. They've been going out of their way not to be perceived as a threat, not to be perceived as a creep. And in that, it's created this disjointed connection or relationship between men and women, you know. And not to knock the whole Me Too movement, because there are some aspects that are legit. There are some dirtbags out there. But I feel like it pushed so far that it became almost negative to the purpose or to the move. So that's a whole nother topic. Let's say that for another video. Let's keep it pushing.
At the end of the day, a lot of y'all are running around acting like you so scared of men, acting as if you fear for your life on a day-to-day basis. Girl, men don't even pay you no mind on a day-to-day basis. You go to the mall, they ignore you. You go to the store, they ignore you. You go to the club and the lounges with your homegirls and they talk to everybody but you. Men ain't worried about you. You could be in the forest with a bear and a man and you got a better chance of the bear wanting to smash.
Cold.
It don't sound like that lady wanted to choose the bear. It sounded like she wanted to choose the man instead.
It's almost comical listening to a group of women who invite strangers from dating apps to their house to smash on the first day are scared of men. I can't tell the way y'all be getting pregnant by strangers, men who last names you don't even know, men who mama you don't meet until the baby shower. I can't tell you scared of these men. Not the way you be out here giving out your address so freely and letting them come over there and Netflix and chill, the way you be going over their house when you don't even know them. Jeffrey Dahmer would have a field day with this generation and somehow y'all scared of men? You scared to be in a forest with a man? Be for real.
There is no way.
All right, let me just pause 1 second. My my girl was cooking, man. She was on cook mode. She was a chef right there. I had to let that one roll. That's a real position. That's a real, like, I had to address that. That's legit. So she mentioned basically the hypocrisy of the fear of men, you know, men you don't know, strangers, and mended that with the whole aspect of dating online. Like, we don't know these men. You don't know that guy on Tinder and Hinge and Bumble and all those millions of dating sites that exist. You don't know these dudes. You know what I mean? But a lot of these guys get at you the first day. The first day you at their crib. The first day they at your crib. Or y'all in the spot in a motel. And it's like, you don't know him from having to eat. Y'all just had dinner one time. It's just like, oh yeah, you can enjoy me. Let's go with that. That's a stranger, relatively. That stranger that you gave your body to, hypothetically speaking, or literally speaking. Like, he could be the guy in the woods. So you're saying I wouldn't trust that guy in the woods, but this guy over here, he can have my body. That makes sense. All right, let's keep it moving.
Hey, motherfuckers are talking about, I would rather be with a bear than a man. No, you wouldn't, bro. If I tossed you into the woods with a bear, you would probably be calling for a man in your life to come help you out that situation. Like, what are we doing here, bro? A lot of people do this thing I like to call performative feminism. They're not really feminists, bro. They're just saying what they think they should say. And yes, I do think it is important to examine why some women would even say they would choose being with the bear than a man. Now listen, I'm not a world-renowned feminist scholar. I'm not in school for gender studies, so I really don't know. I can acknowledge that weirdos need to be taken off the street and that there is more we can do to help women feel safe without feeding into these weird-ass conversations.
Shout out to my man. He was dropping all kinds of facts, man. And the point I will pull from him is just, I understand the plight. I understand women don't feel safe. And I hate the fact that that's the case, you know. And I think we can spend more time trying to figure that out. I think we can spend more time trying to, you know, find ways to make society feel as comfortable as possible for the ladies. But using these hypotheticals just muddies the water. And we really end up just running in circles around this dumb hypothetical than just dealing with the issue at hand. So shout out to that brother for bringing out that point, because at the end of the day here, we love our women. We love our ladies. We might give you a little criticism. We're going to give you a little criticism, but we love you here 100%. So let's see what the counter argument is. And oh Lord, let's go from there. Ladies and gentlemen, pardon this quick interruption. I just want to remind you, if you are enjoying the content, please hit the like button for me. And if you don't mind hitting the subscribe button, that'd be even better, and I would greatly appreciate it. Also, check the description, and I believe the pinned comment down in the comment section. I have my link in there where I provide consults, and I have deals and things that I curated myself that I think would be greatly beneficial to you guys. So please check the link, see if anything will be good for you, and that would be fantastic. Thank you for your time. Let's continue the video.
The saddest part about the whole man versus bear conversation is that men still don't get it. They still don't get it. I just watched a video of a guy with some AI graphics of bears in the forest, and he's going, wow, this bear in the forest, the likelihood of him attacking a woman, just shut the fuck up. Just shut the fuck up.
So I've been seeing this man or bear conversation.
Just a quick note. If you want people to kind of sympathize with you and understand your position, you know, cursing at them aggressively doesn't usually accomplish that. FYI, future reference. Let's continue.
All over TikTok. My students were even talking about it, and let me tell you, some of these people on TikTok are acting willfully obtuse about it. Majority of women are saying they'd rather be in the woods with a bear compared to a man, and y'all are getting offended, and for what? Because there is a lot of evidence that men have done pretty bad things to women. Now, obviously it's not all men, but again, with all the evidence they have, they're completely justified in that answer.
All these men stitching that original video.
Okay, just to, you know, speak on that momentarily. I understand that men have done terrible things to women in the course of history. 100%. I believe anyone, man or woman, had the capacity to do evil, to do things that are seen as, you know, unsavory. And even in just everyday life, when I look at this, I think about it from the perspective of how many dudes go out of their way to help women. They're not obligated to do it. How many will pull over the side of the road and help a woman change a tire? How many would go, you know, and grab a box from her if she looked like she's about to drop it? You know, how many men would actually run into a building and risk life and limb to rescue a woman and her kids? Like, not because they're obligated, not because they're firefighters. It's just because they're a man and they know that's a woman in trouble. You know, these men exist, and their efforts are never counted. They never count to offset the negative perspective of these random dudes that will do random evil things. You know, and because of that, because the negative or negativity seems to always get projected the furthest, you know, all these good deeds are always just pushed down, you know, never noticed. So they don't ever get to wash out that negative stigma of just bad man.
And saying like, oh, you're wrong. Why would you want to shoot? You know what I'm saying? Like all of that. is like, I genuinely don't think they understand that their responses to shit prove the point. It proves the point. When you get on here and tell women that you're wrong, your decision is irrational, you're proving them right. Look at your anger. Look at how upset you are personally about some shit that ain't got nothing to do with you personally, my guy. You're showing women why you would be a dangerous candidate to be in the forest with alone, because you don't understand that when a woman makes a decision, that's her decision.
Okay, so we're just gonna act like men have no feelings. Men are just automatons again. That's what we're gonna act like, because if we flip the role, as you know how we do, we flip the role. You know, if we saying, you know what, I'd rather be with a bear than with this woman for sure, 100%. Women would feel a certain kind of way about it, and they would get online and they would vent about it and they would say their piece. And so these are men doing the same thing. I thought men were allowed to do that. I don't know. I thought men were allowed to say their piece. At the end of the day, it's like, personally, myself, I find it to be more annoying and disappointing, like a combination between annoyance and disappointing, because again, I know there's just so many men that go out of their way to support and help women in many facets, and to think that it's like the few is just like has put so much fear into the many. This way, they would rather just be with a wild, unpredictable animal than with a man that could possibly help them get out of their situation. Because if we listen to this scenario, what's the scenario? If a woman is stuck in the woods and you can only pick between a man and a bear, the man is probably the most equipped to help you get out of that situation, to get back to civilization. The bear is not going to help you get back. The bear basically is either going to leave you alone or maul you, right? The man can do some other bad things, but guess what they can do? Help you get back home to your family, to your friends. And it's just like, that is completely overlooked. I don't understand why it's completely overlooked, but when that's overlooked from my perspective, when that kind of thing is overlooked, I do feel a certain kind of way about it. I do feel kind of annoyed, you know? Does that mean I'm angry or that I'm frothing at the mouth? Like, no, not at all. But I mean, I am not emotionalist. I feel things too. Fuck off.
Every bear has a reason to be in the woods, but a man, you could say some men are hiking, but that's not the case for every man as it is for every bear. And from what I've read, and if I'm incorrect about this, please correct me, but if you encounter a bear, there's a good chance the bear is going to leave you alone. Some bears, as I've heard, will try to run away from you, or if you don't do anything to the bear won't do anything. They'll go the other way, which, if that's not the case, correct me, but the worst that could happen if a woman's alone in the woods with a bear is the bear's going to unalive her.
The worst case scenario, the bear's going to unalive her. Best case scenario, the bear's not going to do anything. I don't see how either one of those are beneficial to someone being stuck in the woods, in my opinion. Now, I know this is a dumb hypothetical, and I hate that I'm having to argue it or even discuss it. But, you know, I'm just want to just work with the topic at hand. All right, let's keep it moving.
Forest. This isn't about your National Geographic studies about bears because you watched a lot of it on TV. It's not your expertise on how bears act. It's about how men act towards women. It's about how women are being assaulted by men. It's how women would rather choose being with a bear than being tortured by a man.
Hi, I'm a woman, and if I were to be alone with either a bear or a man in the woods, I would choose the bear. I'm a man, and that makes me really angry. I would never hurt you. I'm a good man. That may be true, but it's impossible to tell which man is good and which man is not good. I've also been hurt by a lot of men in my past, so I'd rather take my chances with the bear. That's understandable. Is there anything I could do to help with that? Yes. Please hold the men around you accountable. Thank you.
My girl went straight to torture. That dynamic of help, the next phase is torture. That is a jump. That's a big jump, you know? I mean, wow. Like, what would possess you to jump to torture? I mean, that is not a common thing. Like, you know, this like psychopathic. Like, you just think psychopathic men are just out there just trolling the woods just to find random women that's lost in the woods, apparently. Like, there's better ways, I would think. I think there would be better ways. I mean, or you just were just very unlucky. Like, holy crap, you're unlucky. It goes back to being sad again. Like, geez, man, like, woman, you might be stuck out in the woods for a while. I don't know too many Western women. Scratch that. I don't know too many Western people in general who can survive in the woods for a significant amount of time, you know? So that's the whole thing. And I also think bears aren't the only predators, if I'm not mistaken. So that's a whole nother thing in itself. Oh my goodness. Yeah, but the last little clip, you know, with the young lady, she's basically trying to explain how the scenario should have went when it was being explained, you know? And I get her point. I get what she was saying. It makes sense. Not lost on me, all right? Again, go back to my point of, you know, men have emotions and they can feel a certain kind of way about it. And it's like, sure, you have a limited amount of experience, whether you had something traumatic happen to you or someone else did or some other experience, or it's like you're projecting on so many people. And it's just like, I get that PTSD is a thing. I get that trauma is there 100%, you know, but with that, it kind of is a mirror to the dating world, you know. People are living off of other people's projected trauma. People are dealing with a limited amount of men or women and making these brush strokes over all society, you know. So it's a whole thing. It's a whole thing, you know. And I mean, I wish it could come to a conclusion where it's like, no, how can I help? How can we help? And we can talk about it, you know, more directly outside of this hypothetical, as the young man in one of the earlier videos say, you know, this taking out of the context of this hypothetical and truly just addressing it for what it is. So personally, myself, I mean, my position is pretty normal. My position is just the man. Again, I was looking at it from a very logical standpoint. The logical standpoint is, if you're stuck in the woods, a man would be more likely to help you get out of the scenario. With that being the case, can I understand why some women picked the bear? Yes, I get why they did it, but I just feel as though that is a bigger indictment on society than it is on men. You know, there's many facets that play into that, and that comes from the media. It comes from the extremists in the feminist movement, and just other factors, you know, that I feel are diluting the relationship between the genders. And it's unfortunate, you know, because we both need each other at the end of the day. And if we want to keep the Western society going, then we need to figure out how to mend this divide, because it's getting bigger and wider every day. And if we don't figure something out soon, it's going to lead to the collapse of the whole Western society, in my humble opinion. And this is a hell of a topic. I want to know what y'all think, because I've talked a lot and I might have been rambling as I do. So get down in the comments. Let me know your thoughts. I want to just see what y'all talking about. And if you don't mind, if you got time, check out this video here. It's one of my latest videos talking about the soft guy era. It is a wild scenario, and it almost kind of plays off the same principles as kind of this. So check it out. Tell me what you think, and I'll catch y'all later. Peace.